Baseplan presents video features how to increase productivity in your equipment rental sales team, focusing on the following areas. Logging into the Baseplan CRM iPad app, searching for customers, sites and contacts, looking up rental rates, availability and customer history, viewing company and sites on a map, creating notes and upcoming to-dos.
Okay, so I'm currently logged into my iPad and I'll go in and have a look at the Baseplan CRM application and see how we actually make our sales reps more productive in the field. So when I log into the app, I can actually see all of the particular accounts that are coming from Baseplan. Now, I can actually query all this information at the bottom that relates to those particular accounts, and we'll get into that in a second. So just at a basic, I can start searching for a particular account, like Valaris Construction, and it will show me the main branch that it's allocated to, the sales rep, and also the phone number. I can click on this account and it will show me more information about that particular customer. Now, I might also want to see what job sites this customer has that relates to that particular account. So I can see the different job sites in here as well and start querying more information. I can click on this pin drop and actually see on a map where this particular customer is located. Now, maybe I also want to query what contacts work at that particular job site. So I can click on the contacts tab and it will show me all the contacts for Valaris Construction. And I might want to narrow that down to a particular site. So I might want to have a look at just the main Valaris Construction site and look at Jessie Robinson and see her information. I can also click on the email button and create an email out of here, and it will pull the email address automatically and then start that process. Now, everything I've shown you so far is pretty basic and it isn't really groundbreaking in terms of a CRM. What we want to look at is how we can actually take information from Baseplan and empower the sales rep. So if I go to the rates calculator on the bottom here, I can actually start typing in a description of a piece of equipment. I can choose a particular location and that will actually query Baseplan and show the sales rep the particular types of equipment in the system, the min charge, the daily, weekly and monthly rate, and also the quantity available at that particular location right now live. So it really empowers the person to have those conversations in the field in front of their customers. Now, you might want to also empower the sales rep to actually query the previous rental history as well. And so I can actually go to the Hire tab and it will show me the history of what this particular customer has rented. And I can look at the different statuses that are currently available and I can actually drill in and see the details of it. So I can query what the rates are for that particular account. I can check the rental history and see what we've charged them on the previous rental contracts and see any details that relate to that. So really having those conversations with the customer on the fly. Now, I might also want to check the service history for that particular customer as well, and it will show me all the breakdowns or scheduled maintenance jobs that have been completed against that particular customer, and I want to filter by the particular service date. Now, when all of that sort of stuff comes in, I might also want to start looking at things like the transactions to see if there's any issues on the account. So I can start checking the transactions against the account, if there's any actual comments against those particular transactions as well, to see if there's any payment issues that I might want to have a discussion with the customer in the field on the fly. Now, once all that information is pulled in, I might also want to check what other customers are around Valaris Construction. So we can see here it pulls a map up and it will actually pin where Valaris Construction is. And it will show me in blue the other job sites and in red the other customers around it. So I can actually start filtering this data on the map with a few different parameters that we can actually select. So I can change one of these to maybe choose like active customers, and that'll change the map and only show me active customers on that map around Valaris Construction. Very powerful in terms of when you're trying to plan visits and stuff like that. Now, when we do choose a customer on the map, and if I clicked on Angus Trading, it'll actually change everything in the app to only show information relating to Angus Trading automatically. Then I can start searching information down the bottom. Like maybe I want to have a look at the equipment tab. I want to see pieces of equipment that are actually sold to Angus Trading and then check the information against that as well and whether it's currently due for service or whatever the scenario might be in that case. Now, when we want to actually start recording things like notes and to-dos against and create a history against that account, we can actually start going through and actually go into this inquiry form. So this will actually give you a step-by-step guide in terms of what to select. So I can start typing in a customer name like Valaris Construction, and once I select that, it'll actually give me a drop down of the sites that I can choose from. Now I can actually create a site on the fly, or I can choose one of these particular sites. It'll then tell me which contacts work at that site, and I can create more on the fly, or I can choose one there. I can then start entering an inquiry, which we'll talk about in another video, where we can actually do some pipeline reporting. And I can start recording things like notes and to-dos. So a note in this case might be that I want to have a look at something like a phone call, or I want to record some information about that particular account. So maybe it was an introduction call with the new PM. And then I can also start recording a to-do that needs to occur in the future. So the note is to record something that's already happened, and the to-do is something that needs to happen in the future. Now, maybe if I don't want to assign this to myself, I can assign this to another sales reps. Now I can also, instead of typing the information in like I'm doing now, I can also speak using the microphone. So I can say, for instance, if I tap on this, I can say, complete an inspection for Valaris Construction. And so that will pull through automatically. So just some little basic things to sort of automate those steps. Now, when I do this, we can actually see that it gives me the option to update the last contacted date as well. So when we do create notes against the account, it'll actually update against that particular account the last date that we actually had contact with that customer. So once I hit yes, now I can actually start looking at that history that that account has already been updated with. So if I typed in Valaris Construction, it'll pull through the company information, and remember, it updates all information on the bottom here. So if I clicked on notes, for example, I can see that there was that note with the introduction to the new PM, and I can view that history. So it allows anyone to then start querying the history against those particular sites and contacts. I can also look at my to-dos, which is the things that need to occur in the future. So it'll basically list out my particular to-dos, and we'll refresh them. And we can see here that there's a site inspection that needs to occur. So basically, it's got the information that we created in that process before, and anything within here I can actually edit. And with to-dos, I can actually sync this with my particular calendar as well. Now, once all that information is entered, I can actually view some KPI charts in the actual application itself as well, just to give the rep some information about how many phone calls they've made in a particular week, or site inspections or visits or demos, whatever the scenario might be. Now, we will talk about this in a separate video, but we do have the ability to create inquiries and start managing things like pipeline reporting to actually start forecasting some information around some revenue that we're expecting to come in, whether it be selling equipment or actually doing long-term rentals of such as well. Now that basically wraps up today's video. If anyone has any ideas on future topics or any questions, please leave a comment in the section below, and I hope to see everyone in a future Baseplan Presents webinar.